This week we've been following Prince Harry's royal tour of the Caribbean. This morning he moved on to Brazil, and that's where we find Seth Doane. He's in Rio de Janeiro. Seth, good morning.
Good morning to you, Charlie. Yes, as the prince landed here in Brazil this morning, he officially transitions in his role from representing the crown and celebrating the Queen's 60 years on the throne to representing the British government and acting as a sort of trade ambassador. And as he stepped off that plane, he's likely seen quite differently than he was just a week ago.
Only a prince could pull off a week like this.
If I may, just for a moment, I would like to take this opportunity to pay a personal tribute to my grandmother.
His three-nation tribute at times seemed as much about the Queen as it did Prince Harry himself, showcasing both the prince's stamina and range, from state dinners to sporting events. The man who danced to Bob Marley on Wednesday in Jamaica was somber the following day, as news broke that 6 British troops had been killed in Afghanistan. He chose to watch Jamaican soldiers repel rather than joining in, a shift in schedule and show of respect. The prince, who spent 77 days in Afghanistan on the front lines, proved he had pretty stunning aim and even fired off a joke at the expense of reporters.
Anyone with a camera want to stand at the other end?
This newly qualified Apache helicopter pilot flew his way to a peaceful setting, Montego Bay. When he started this journey last Friday in Belize, the media debated where he might party. But in just a week, he's turned the commentary toward his diplomatic abilities, aided perhaps by a little brotherly advice from another prince. CBS News learned that the two brothers have chatted by phone and texted throughout the trip, as Prince William helped with tips on how to balance fun and formality.
Landing in Brazil this morning, the prince plans to boost UK businesses and try to lure tourists from these beaches to Britain. Part of Prince Harry's mission here in Brazil is to promote the Olympics in London later this year, and to do it in a country that'll host the next Summer Games in 2016. But there's part of the preparations here in Rio that is not on any publicity tour.
I found out that I might be evicted via a government official, mechanic Jovan Domingos told us.
His repair shop on the outskirts of Rio's favelas or slums could be torn down to make way for Olympic construction. Right now, slums fill the shadows of these Olympic venues, and that's something even the royal spotlight can't change. The prince's abilities will be tested even more here in Brazil, a country with no official ties to the crown. And we'll see if his royal charm will have any effect. Now, the prince does share this country's love of sport, and as you might imagine, that figures quite prominently in his agenda here.
So if he's there in part to support the Olympics coming to London, do we expect to see him playing any sports?
We will, Charlie, on the beaches of Copacabana. He'll be playing beach volleyball, and it's, as you can see, quite a beautiful day here in Rio. So maybe we'll go check that out.
Seth, thank you very much.
Seth with a rough gig.